set.
Attention. Go!
And so it is the semi-final of the Grand Challenge Cup. We have Leander and Oxford Brookes representing Great Britain against rowing Australia. It is the matchup that is going to have repercussions beyond today. It's going to set the tone for the World Championships later to come this summer. It's even setting the tone on the journey to Los Angeles 2028. And here we see the Leander and Oxford Brookes GB crew bursting out the start, full of power, but really focused on their race.
Oh, how amazing. You could travel around the world and you will not find really two faster crews than these two that are going against each other. Aussies look like they have jumped out. With Alex Hill, that's not unexpected. He is always a fast starter. Let's look at this fantastic Aussie crew.
So we have Nicholas Pender at bow, Jack Robertson at 2, Charles Petruni at 3, Angus Dawson at 4, Fergus Hamilton at 5, Alex Nichol at 6, Austin Reiner at 7, Alexander Hill at stroke. They are coxed by Nicholas Dunlop. They have put their so far unbeaten coxless 4, who've raced in the World Cup and won every race and so far this season. They put them into the 8 for this event. They are rebuilding post-Paris. They had a disappointing Olympics, Paris 2024, but my goodness, they have burst onto the scene by having a coxless 4 that has so far been unbeaten, and now they've put them into this event. They want to make a statement that Australia rowing is back. They're on a rebuilding program that's going to take some time. They've even gone and got Jürgen Grobler in to give them advice. What do you think he will have said to them before they went out to race today?
Man, the pep talks from Jürgen Grobler are absolutely incredible. I mean, they raise the hairs on your skin. He talks about the man with the hammer. So when you get into the middle of the race and the man with the hammer comes, and when he comes, you give him 10 big ones. But how important for the start of this Olympic cycle as well, two of the biggest rowing nations in the world going hammer and tong at one another to put down a statement to say we mean business for this Olympic cycle.
So the Australians have really gone out with intention. They are determined. They've immediately put the British crew under pressure, are looking really focused, and we see from the backs there the amount of power that is being put down. It's such a professional program. They've been training over in Varese, where they have their European training center, for quite a few weeks now, so they're fully acclimatized. They have fantastic facilities. Everything is thought of to set up these 9 athletes to race their absolute best race today, as it is for our crew, Leander Club and Oxford Brookes, who've been training at Caversham. And let's see, that crew is made up of Matthew Aldridge at bow, Matthew Rowe at 2, Miles Beeson at 3, Fergus Woolnough at 4, David Bewick-Copley at 5, Sam Nunn at 6, Will Stewart at 7, Archie Drummond is driving them on from the stroke seat, and the cox, William Denegri, he's got his work cut out now, because they're going to feel a little tense, and they're going to have to come back and attack the Australians, which I think is already happening.
They are holding them. They are holding them. How brilliant. Aussies always start fast. You know that's going to happen. You know that's the way they're going to race they're going to race this. But that GB crew, they are, the last time they met, the GB crew put 12 seconds into them at Varese. These guys will know that they can do it. They're going to be holding them. How can they check this momentum? And how can they start eking back and start bringing themselves down that Australian boat?
So just a week ago at Lucerne, the Aussies shot out, and then the Germans came through. They ended up second. This is a strengthened crew, though, because they put the coxers 4 in as well, but they definitely front end. That's been the pattern in all the races, and then sometimes they get rowed through, and the question is whether they can hold on this time, or whether the Brits can push them and break them. But at the moment, they will be feeling really comfortable that Alexander Hill can see the entire British crew now out of the corner of his eye as they come past Remenham, and the crowds will be roaring on the British athletes. The huge number of Australians, of course, on the banks will also be roaring them on. A huge welcome to those who are up in the middle of the night from Australia to cheer on your crews. But here we are, we see the Brits, they are digging in. There's so much belief in the programme. There's so much belief that comes from the fantastic results where Great Britain won the 8th event in Paris. We've got different members of the crew, though. It's just a year on, and, you know, again, pretty much a new crew who want to take on the mantle.
This is a new look GB crew, but by no means are they unexperienced. I mean, just reading down their bios, it's hard to believe just how successful these men are. I mean, Matthew Aldridge in the bow seat, he is going for his 9th Henley and he's won many of them. But here they go, they've got a lot to do as this Aussie crew. They're coming through to the last part. This is the last third of the race, last quarter of the race. I think they're going to be pushing on. The Brits have a lot to do to catch up right now.
So Alexander Hill, he is an Olympic master. He's won numerous medals at all sorts of different levels, and he has so much experience, and he will be loving being able to look across. Again, they'll have had Jürgen describe the course, the challenges, the point at which to push. He knows this piece of water like the back of his hand. There is so much experience. Chris O'Brien, of course, is the coach of who we saw, in the launch following the pair, who is leading the rebuild of the rowing at Rowing Australia in Australia at the moment. He himself, so much experience, the most experienced, the most successful Australian coach ever. He spent some time away from rowing. He was CEO of British Gymnastics, and then he came back because Australia Rowing gave him the call. They needed something special. They want to be winning. They want to be back beating the Brits. And they've come to our own home territory to show that they are back with a vengeance.
This is, the Aussies, they come up to the line now. They wanted to do this, turn the Brits over on their own water. The Aussies love that.
They will love every stroke here as they cross in the semi-final of the Grand Challenge Club. It is Rowing Australia who led from the first stroke over the Leander and Oxford Brookes British crew.
I mean, huge credit to the Brits for pushing through, but this one will really hurt. This will hurt physically because they would have given absolutely everything for this, but also mentally they know the Aussies are a crew to beat now and that they've put down a big marker from last weekend.
They will take that in their minds now into the summer training camps, into the altitude training camps. The Brits will know there is more to do. It will fire them up for the World Championships later this year, and there's quite a gap now until them. But look, those heads will be processing that. That has hurt them. It's hurt their pride, but it'll keep them humble. It'll keep them working hard, and that's so important.